Okay, people at home, make sure that you are getting on and doing this assignment. We are doing parts of speech boot camp for the next couple of days until Thanksgiving break. Today, I posted this nouns and pronouns practice. You need to open up the document, the scanned document, and it goes over what nouns are. Please read this, okay? It'll help you. You will not have questions if you read this. But it asks you to, it tells you like what nouns are, tells you common versus proper nouns, and it goes over collective nouns, compound nouns, etc. Okay, so then you have a worksheet to do. I'm going to come back to this. The next part of this is pronouns. Okay, so you do need to pay close attention to this, what a pronoun is and what the antecedent is. Okay, so the pronoun is the word that replaces the noun. The antecedent is what that noun was. So if you look at this sentence, in this sentence, it says Roberto feels that he can win the race. He is your pronoun, and the word that it's replacing is Roberto. So Roberto is the antecedent. Okay. If you look at the second example, Terry and Jim know they are best friends. They is the pronoun. What does it replace? It replaces Terry and Jim. That makes Terry and Jim your antecedent. Okay, so we are normally typically really good at understanding personal pronouns. When I say identify the pronoun in a sentence, these are the ones that you typically know, the personal pronouns. There are a million other types of pronouns though too. And I do not care if you can identify them. I will never say, can you tell me what a reflexive pronoun is? Can you tell me what an interrogative pronoun is? But I do want you to be able to find them in a sentence. So you need to make sure you read this worksheet. Okay, the words that end in self, any word that ends in self, like himself, herself, ourselves, those are pronouns. Okay. These W words, like the question words, or who, which, whom, who, those are pronouns. The demonstrative words, these TH words, those are pronouns. Okay, so you just need to start to know that. Like you just need to know it. So just learn it. Okay, teach yourself. But then you have all of these indefinite pronouns too. Now these can get a little tricky because sometimes, like for example, the word one, it could be an adjective. So you have to ask yourself, how is this word being used in the sentence? If I said, I have one cookie left, one is describing cookie. Okay, so that is an adjective. However, if I said, I lost the red one is replacing whatever the red thing is. So like the marker, like I lost the red marker, I lost the red one. One is then replacing marker. So it is a pronoun. So that gets a little tricky. Do the best you can. Okay, so I want to go over how you're going to answer these questions because since you're not in class, it's a little different. The worksheet is right here. Okay, you need to complete this noun worksheet. The way you're going to do that is by filling it out on this handout. Okay, so here's another worksheet. This is going to be where you type your answer. So you can see that I did one for you as an example. Hold on. Let's open this completely. Okay, so you can see I did this example. So the question says, Wendy located her housekeeper, which I know is a super weird sentence, but it asks you to identify the nouns in the sentence. So if you look at the worksheet, I put them here, Wendy and housekeeper. Those are your two nouns. The second part of the question, though, says to put the letter of the nouns on the line. So Wendy starts with a W, housekeeper starts with a H, so you put WH on that line. If you look at my example, Wendy, housekeeper, WH. Pretty simple, right? The next question says, some answers on this test are about electricity. My three nouns are answers, test, electricity. So when I type it, I'm going to type it like this, answers, test, electricity, right? Pretty simple. And then I have answers, test, electricity. So I have three letters. Makes sense, right? When you get to the end, all of these letters that I have typed out is going to create a quote. So when you're finished, you will take the letters, you will write out what the quote is and who the author is, and that will be from all of these things, all of these letters. Okay, just so you know, because people have been confused about this question, if you look down at question number 11, boating in this sentence is a noun. It looks like a verb. We'll talk about that in class later. There are other nouns there, but I do want you to just know that boating is a noun. So you can add that to your list. Okay, so that's how you do the noun or worksheet. The pronoun worksheet looks like this. It says, there are two pronouns in every sentence. Underline the two pronouns and then identify possible antecedents for each pronoun. I did a couple of examples for you. If you look at number 1, this is the way to do it. Okay, my pronouns are this and it. I know there are two in every sentence. And then off to the side, I wrote out what two possible antecedents are. So I said, my example is the way to do it, the assignment. Okay. I also did number 10 for you. Those are the best ones to buy. Okay, those and ones are my pronouns. I replaced those with Nikes. I replaced ones with shoes. So Nikes are the best shoes to buy. Okay, so do the best you can to replace the pronouns with the antecedent. So let's look at, let's see. Number 2, we'll just practice one together really quickly so you see what I'm talking about. It says, he hurt himself during lunch. Okay, my two pronouns that replace nouns are he and himself. So on my little paper here, I'm going to type he, comma, himself. And then what are some words I could use instead of he? I could just say like Joe. Joe hurt himself during gym. So what does himself replace? It also replaces Joe. So it says Joe hurt Joe during gym. Okay, so those are my antecedents. Whoops. That's what your paper should look like when you're done. Okay. If you have any questions, email me, but hopefully you can just use common sense to figure them out. Try to figure out the pronouns, and then next to the pronouns, you write words that you could replace them. I do want to tell you that if it is a question, so for example, number 4, who is the person with her? When you replace those pronouns, it will sound like you're answering the question. So instead of who is the person with her, it would say like, Sarah is the person with Jenny. Okay, and it sounds like you've answered the question. So don't be confused if that trips you up. But that's what you're doing. So good luck. Turn it in. A lot of you aren't turning things in, so make sure you get it turned in today. Okay, have a good weekend.